All right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the like-minded brothers. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquath that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Omawan back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, knock knock, who's there? All right, it's Mr. Ice Cream. Yeah, so going into the lesson, all right, in the title, all right, soon to be what you're going to hear in your doors, okay, especially you 2/3 that don't want to hearken on to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right. Pretty soon, like we've always told you, these martial law troops, we didn't know it was going to come in the way of these ICE agents. All right. But, we've always told you through the spirit that at one point, especially in the time of Jacob's trouble, you're going to have these martial law troops knocking on doors. All right. And with what's going on right now with the woman that got shot, and killed, and the other two shootings in Portland, which there's going to be more to come. All right. From different states. All right. To start up, pretty much to start up these protests and civil wars. Okay, they're gonna continue to, they're gonna continue to do things to ramp up the people, to stir up the people. Okay, and it's all orchestrated, by these elites. Okay, and ultimately by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, giving these devils power. All right, giving them, a charge to take us as the spoil, as the scriptures say, to tread us down in the streets, as the scriptures say. We'll be we will be put into submission to these devils, men, because you didn't want to hearken on to the word of the Lord. Okay, and what's going to happen is, with all these ice cream agents and these police officers, eventually they're going to take them out of the way, right? And they're going to actually add the UN troops to it, okay? These foreign troops, martial law troops, and they are going to be the ones that are going to come like madmen, sparing none, okay? These little ice cream agents, all right, that you see, coming around right now are just low-key, little puppets. All right, they're not even the ones that they really want to use for what's to come. All right, they want to really use these UN troops, okay? Because the UN troops don't, they gonna come not caring about anybody. All right, they're gonna have no pity, okay? They don't like Americans to begin with, you see. So for them, it's gonna be that much easier, all right, for them to do, their business, through these UN troops. Okay, so as we all heard, JD Vance, all right, has now said that he wants to go door to door. All right, let me see. This is from US Today. Give me 1 second, trying to get to it now. But this is from US Today, and it says federal officials say Americans can expect to see even more muscular immigration enforcement in the coming months. Which this is, hey, I did a video on this about 3 weeks ago. All right, before 2026 came into play, I told you that Trump was going to end up, intensifying these ice cream agents, man, to start coming back, a little harder. All right, and hey, very well so. So it says, with over 10,000 new ice cream agents hitting the streets, armed with personal data harvested by private contractors. Speaking on January 7th, Fox News broadcast, Vice President J.D. Vance said ICE would be going door to door in the coming months as agents carry out President Donald Trump's plans for the largest mass deportation in history. Federal officials say they've got they now got about 22,000 agents and investigators, up from 10,000 a year ago. You see? So look, this devil's ready to make moves, all right? And see, they're gonna talk about, they're gonna talk to you in ease, man. As the scriptures say, let's grab that real quick. This is and you can never trust your enemy, man, because like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. All right. But an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, as the scriptures tell you. All right. This is Ecclesiasticus 12:16. And it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. You see? So he gonna speak, sweetly with his lips. He's gonna tell you all, we have to do this so it could be a safer way. We don't have to, be running down on people. We could just, peacefully go door to door. And that's gonna be the worst case scenario, man, because people gonna fight that off, man. And if they were already trying to snatch people without their will, going to jobs, going to, stores, taking your kids from you while you're not around them, you getting snatched up while you going to pick up your kids. They were already doing that in a harsh manner. Imagine how much more when it comes to them knocking on your doors. You see, these niggas already trigger happy. They're already in that spirit of, what's the patriotic spirit? They're amped up through basically they're amped up by DT's speeches, thinking that they're gonna take America back again. All right, and a lot of these damn ice cream agents are straight Esau, and in the mix you have some of our people, that sign up for these jobs and sell out, and they'll turn against their own people just for a paycheck. But they are going to intensify these operations more and more. Okay, so we are not gonna, who will pity a charmer when he is bitten with a serpent? We're not gonna sit here and pity it, man, because we told you not to trust this enemy. We told you that this devil was gonna start running down on people's houses, man. All right, and that eventually is gonna turn into, from being deported to these from being deported to these FEMA camps to actually knocking on doors to see if you are yo jabbered up. All right, if you have the yo jabba, and eventually it's gonna be for them to see if you have the RFID, and if you don't, well then you either comply with it, get it right then and there, or you can be excluded from society, or you can be put to death. You see, and that's what's gonna happen. Okay. We have signs like that, man. When we go on the highways and hedges, we got signs showing you these things before they even happen. You see, the same way Esau has predictive programming, we have our predictive programming. You see, by the words and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because he is the ultimate predictive program. He's the one that tells us what's going to happen before they do. The Lord says that in the scriptures, man. Before they come, I tell you of them, right? Let's grab that. This is Isaiah 42:9. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. You see? So these, which this ain't new, nothing new, this is just us going into the hands of our enemies in captivity. Okay, but for this era, it's coming in a new way. You see, and it's coming in the way of these ice cream agents. All right, so we have been declaring it, and letting you know what's to come. All right, and that's because surely the Lord will do nothing but reveal his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. You see, so before they spring forth, the Lord is going to tell us of these things, man, through the Spirit. Tell us through these scriptures. All right. That's why we are watchmen, as the scriptures say. I will stand upon my watch. Right. Let's grab that real quick. This is Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2:1, and it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. You see? So, we are watchmen. All right. The Lord sets us up upon the tower. All right. That's what watchmen did in the ancient world, man. Watchmen would sit on top of towers and they were able to see the things coming before they actually came. Before it happened, they would see something coming and they would warn the people from the top of the tower. They would warn their city, especially cities back in the day, because cities were boxed in, closed in by fences, you know. So, they will watch on the watchtower, and when they saw an enemy coming in, all right, or something different, they will warn from the top of those watchtowers. They will warn the people down at the ground level, you see? So we are those watchmen on the watchtower watching what this enemy is about to do, and we go and warn the people and make it plain upon the tables for you to understand, you see? And what you're seeing right now is Jacob's trouble, okay, coming for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, as we always have said, as the elders, all right, that have been doing this work for 36, 40 plus years already, man. And, we have learned all from them, you see? So we have been speaking for a very, very long time, man, telling you these things to come, and nobody takes heed of it except the elect, all right? And the elect is going to be a small remnant. Those are the ones that are going to be preserved from evil. But the rest of you going to have to go through these scenarios, man, and you're going to have no understanding, all right, when it happens. Let's grab that. This is Daniel, okay? This is Daniel 12:1, all right? And I'm going to also grab verse 10. But let's grab 12:1. And it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Okay, so you have to understand that it's going to be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. You see, it's going to be the worst type of slavery you have ever gone into, the worst type of captivity. All right, out of all the captivities we done went through, all 7 of them, all right, this one's going to be the worst. This is going to be like all 7 captivities put into one. You see, so it's going to be the ultimate captivity of our people. Okay. And like I said, eventually they'll take these ice cream agents out and they'll replace them with UN troops, martial law troops, and they shall be like madmen, sparing none, having no pity upon his neighbor, they're going to run up in your homes. They tell you they're going to come, peacefully. They tell you that a lot of people will say, oh, well, you can't just do that. You need a warrant, this and that. They don't give a shit, man. That constitutional right shit never mattered, man. Okay, them constitutional rights, all right, were created for them to use against us, not for us to use against them. Has there been people that have been successful with their constitutional rights and, sometimes, end up getting away with things because, they use the constitutional right against them? Yeah, but for the most part, that shit ain't gonna work, man. You had, what's his name? This bug out's name, George Bush. When he was in presidency, man, he said that shit. He said that the constitutional rights was a piece of paper you wipe your ass with, So that means that it never mattered to the Americans. Okay, it was not used for the Americans. It was created for the governments to use against you Americans. You see? So let's continue on. It says, such as was since there was a time, a nation, even that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So a time of trouble that has never been seen is about to come upon us. Okay, let's grab 10. It says, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. See, so when they start yanking you out of your houses, y'all ain't gonna have no understanding of why. You just gonna be thinking that these niggas is being mean niggas. mean people just coming to your house and just knocking on your door and violating your constitutional rights. Well, no, this was prophesied that will happen. You see, this is what the true prophets are speaking of. All right. The true prophets are speaking of, they're speaking up against kingdoms. You know, they're speaking of evils, pestilence, wars. Okay. This is evils right here that's about to happen. These people are on another level with their wickedness. You know how evil that is for you to just run up in people's safe space, their homes, you know, and invade their homes without warrants and things like that. This is why they've been pushing out all these draconian laws, harsh laws, because the draconian laws outweigh the actual constitutional rights, man. You see? So it just knocks out all them things that these laws that you've heard that were protecting you all these years, you know, they get replaced by these draconian laws that they create under your nose while you're being distracted with the folly that is set in great dignity upon this place, man, with the bread and circuses, you see? So the wicked is not going to be able to understand when they start getting judged, man. But the righteous shall understand exactly what's going on. You see, and that's why we fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. But let's grab this. This is let me actually grab the video of him saying it. Let it load up real quick. And like I said, what went down out there in Minnesota, man, that shit look like a straight psyops. Another psyops. Okay, all these devils do is make psyops to distract you, to bring in their agenda. Okay, but this is what this devil said.
What we've done is actually gotten 2.5 million illegal aliens out without any of the really big marquee things that we've been working on. That was just simple willpower and the President of the United States coming in and saying this is done. I think we're going to see those deportation numbers ramp up as we get more and more people online working for ICE, going door to door and making sure that if you're an illegal alien, you've got to get out of this country. And if you want to come back, apply through the proper channels.
Yeah. And if you're going to want to come back, you're going to have to apply to the proper system. You're going to have to apply to the proper image, which is going to be by the way of digital ID, right? And then eventually being turned into that RFID, you see? So they're playing exactly to the T how they want it to be played out, you see? This is them speaking sweetly with his lips. Okay, it's just no problem. We're going to take you door to door. We'll deport you. And if you want to come back to this country, you have to do it the legal way. You know, you have to fill out all the paperwork all over again. When you know that's not what this devil really means, man. Because then people, they get deported, are not even going to make it back to their fucking homes, man. They're going to be sent straight to a FEMA camp, all right? When you get put in these FEMA camps, they're doing all types of shit behind closed doors, man. Torturing people, ravishing the women, you know, taking the kids, Salakia, taking the kids, you know, who knows? It might be cutting them all up, taking out organs, all that shit, man. Here it is. They got FEMA camps with alligator Alcatraz and, you know, FEMA camps with guillotines, you know, FEMA camps with incinerators and shit, fire incinerators. What do you think that's for, man? That's to depopulate you Jakes out of the way, man. Because in the NWO, there's no room for Jake, man. You see? They only want a bunch of slaves that are gonna comply, man. And we are the type, you know, our people, you know, a lot of them are gonna fall into the trap, but a lot of them also don't want to hear that bullshit, you know. They've been oppressed so long that they ready to fight. So by them ready to fight, that's what's just gonna usher in that is going to be the martial law troops, man. You see? Because that's what the real agenda is about, is them trying to get the martial law troops to come in, for them to declare martial law. Oh, this is too much. This is, you know, people getting hurt. That's why these things be psyops, you know? Because if you look at the woman that got shot, I believe she was a whole fucking Edomite, man. What the hell was they going after her for, you know? But, you know, they probably couldn't find a damn Jake to play that part, you know, at the end of the day. So, you know, they have to do it in a certain manner. Okay. And they have a lot of, you know, what are they called? Damn, not agent provocateurs, but crisis actors. That's what I wanted to bring out. You know, you got a whole lot of crisis actors, man. A lot of these people be the same faces you've been seeing for years already, you know, and people still can't figure it out. Remember, life is a stage, man. Life is a stage, is entertainment. Everything around us is pure fake. Okay. Until you actually really start seeing bloodshed and blood fly, that's when I'll be like, yeah, that shit real. You know, even when you see these different shootings, these massacre shootings, you know, I always see them on the news or on the web, but you don't ever see no blood and shit like that, man, because it'd be bullshit. It's just another way for them to bring in agenda. Okay. So you heard it out the horse's mouth, man. He's ready to start bringing door to door. All right. To make sure if you are an illegal alien. And do you know how many people are not going to like people coming up to the door? See, America has made you believe with your constitutional right that if somebody comes to your home in the wrong manner, all right, unwillingly, you see, where you not allowing him, okay, that you have the right to basically shoot, you know, defend yourself, kill these people if you want to. What you think? People not gonna try to use that when these devils try to run up in your house? Yeah, and that's what's gonna bring in UN troops. That's what's gonna bring and declare martial law. And when martial law is declared, all right, it's not gonna be your police officer that lives two houses down from you, man. It's not gonna be the cop that lives in the third floor and you live on the first floor. It ain't gonna be that, man. It's gonna be UN troops, okay? Foreigners, man. Niggas that don't like you, that can handle the job, that are here to, you know, bring, you know, straight murder, death, kill. You know, they not worried about nobody's constitutional right or nothing like that. They're just ready to do a job and get paid. You see? And the way these devils work, you know, well, shit, was many Israelites you kill, we'll up your pay. You know, they were saying that shit not so long ago, as a matter of fact. They were saying, I think it was I want to say I think it was like 10,000 for each Israelite they found. You know, they were saying immigrant, all right, but we know who the immigrants are. it go back to you being Jake. You see, so they were offering, you know, money for those that will find, you know, victims, man. You see, so this is what's coming to America. Okay, and it's here. It's already here. It's just going to be on a very high scale, on a very high level, and it's going to happen state to state. You see? So let's grab Jeremiah 30:4. You know, we're going to keep on bringing out the same scriptures over and over and over again, right? Jeremiah 30:4, and it says, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. All right, both northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Right. Jump down to 7. It says, alas, for that day is great. It is great. You see, so that none is like it. Okay, it is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay, in all history, NLT. There has never been such a time of terror. It will be a time of trouble for my people, Israel. You see, it's going to be a great time of trouble. Okay. And the siege is going to be a lot of crazy shit going on. We're going back to lockdowns. We're going back to, you know, staying in your houses, honestly, because that's what they're going to end up doing. They're going to try to find a way to get people to stay in the houses, and it might come by the way of a lockdown according to medical warfare. You know, right now we're in this, they're speaking about this great superbug disease, you see? So if they decide to just tell you, we're going to lock it down, you know, nobody's out no more, mask mandates again, you know, there you go. That's the perfect plan. Everybody's now stuck in their houses, and then while they're all stuck in their houses, like knock knock, who's there? ICE, you know, and that's how it's gonna be. You see, and you're gonna have to show documentation, you know, and you might be lucky and not get snatched away, or you might be one that the Lord puts in the hands of their enemies, man. And really, ultimately, they're gonna really be doing that because they're gonna try to get to the men of the Lord, man. That's what it really goes down to. You see? So, you know, prepare for it, man. Okay. So scriptures tell you what a prudent man foreseeth the evil and he hideth himself. So we see the evil, you know. We're walking circumspect. Why? Because we're redeeming the times, because the days are evil. Perilous times are here, dangerous times. Okay, and they're not going to get any better. They're not going to get, you know, they're not going to go away. They're here to stay. You see? So I'll pretty much leave it at that through the Spirit. You know, there's no need to continue to go on with it. We just got to watch it play. You just got to watch social media and watch all the videos that are coming out with people just getting snatched up. Matter of fact, I think I got a couple videos. Yeah, I'm full as hell. I mean, before I ate some, I'm still full from before the Sabbath dropped. I ate me good. Man, I'm still full. Let me see. Give me a second. Yeah, this is, let me see. Actually, nah, damn. Okay, I got two of them right here. I thought I had more than that for some reason.
Turn off the video. You're detained right now, so you're not free to record. No, we are free to record. We're not free to record. You're detained right now, so no, we're not detained. They haven't told us we're detained. They didn't say nothing about it. I'm telling you right now, you're detained. No, we're not detained. Nope. Look, I got that thing on recording already, and you are not allowed to do this. They're not detained. Get off the phone. Turn on. Get up. If you hurt us, go put it on my. Put your hands here. Come on. Come on. You want to go and talk? Come on. Come on. Hey, what? All right. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. I said you were going to hands up.
And that's a whole Judite right there. You look like a straight Judite. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, remember, there's a lot of wheats and tares, man. Okay, you got the wheats and the tares. The wheats are our people, the tares are not. So you got a lot of these nations, right? You got nations that look like our people, but they're actually not, you know, they're not our people, they're tares. You know, they come back from the bloodline of Esau. And then you got a lot of people that look like these other nations, but they are our people. You see, they go back to the lineage of you know, Jacob. You know, they straight Jake. So I believe through the Spirit that a lot of these, you know, Hispanics, or you see, you know, Judites that are involved with being, you know, these ice cream agents, you know, there's going to be a couple of them that sell out amongst their own people. Okay. But I believe that a lot of them, that when you do see them, they look like our people. A lot of those people are just tares, man. Because for them to be even on that wicked ass mode of trying to capture their own people, that just goes to show they ain't got no love, you know. So, you know, a lot of them are probably straight tares, you know. Not saying every single one of them. There's going to be some of them that sell out, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you know, the majority of them probably more tares than anything, you know. So you'll see a couple Hispanic, you'll see some Hispanics, You'll see some Judites that are, you know, pretty much ICE agents and they just running up on their own kind. Yeah, I believe most of those are going to be tares, man. You know, but this scenario right here was basically two citizens. These were two citizens that showed their ID and they still wanted to detain them. You see, that's why troubles is coming, man. Because it don't matter if your ass is a fucking citizen or not. Trump has deemed you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, he has deemed every single one of y'all, and every single one of y'all are considered as an immigrant, man. So they can care less if you have paperwork or not. They're coming for you Jakes. That's the whole point. They just coming for you Israelites to make your life a miserable and live in hell. Because they have a perpetual hatred for you, man. So that shit don't matter. That shit don't work if I'm gonna pull out my damn ID and you know, how many of them already got snatched up and they had IDs and social security cards and they still snatched them up and sent them to other countries. Luckily they came back, you know, but it just goes to show you they don't care. You see? And ultimately it's the Lord just showing you, you know, a couple people getting snatched up and, you know, they go back and they come back because that's just warning signs that the Lord is giving. And so he finally, you know, breaks all hell out here, man. All hell break loose. You see, once all hell break loose, that's when the Lord has had enough, you know, and all hell breaking loose little by little now. You see? So these dudes is getting beat up for that, you know. See, which this got to do with these protests. You know, after the protest, they got these people riled up now. This is actually a scene right here of the girl that died, right next to somebody that recorded that was right next to her car at the moment.
Every morning, just so you know, it'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine.
So the girl that was in the red car was the one that, then the red truck was the one that actually died. She looked like a whole Edomite. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it might have been just a straight psyop. She might have been used to be acting like a little character, you know, a little crisis actor, and that's it. You know. But when I did see the video, there was blood on the steering wheel, not on the steering wheel, but the airbags. Because supposedly, you know, she got shot in the neck or the face, and then she ended up crashing into another car after that. You know, but hey, regardless, you know, it to me, like I said, it's all the psyops to me. You know, but if it did happen, it's still, you know, to bring in their agenda, man. They have to start somewhere. You know, and not, you know, why not rile up? Right now, the Egyptians are against the Egyptians, so why not rile up these Egyptians even more? You know, and then in the process, you know, they start attacking our people more and more, and then our people get riled up, and there you go, civil war starts. Which, you know, the spirit of civil war is in the air already. You know, you can feel the tension between these people.
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Fucking Edomite. Look at that. Both of them Edomites. Which supposedly that's the new one. All right, that the way that he act like he got hit, because I'll show you another video right here that I got. I don't want to make it too long, but I'll just show you real quick. It's loading up right now.
Good was not a domestic terrorist. In fact, no one acting in good faith actually believes that. no matter what some of our Trump officials say at press conferences. And while there may be an argument to be had about her vehicle moving in the general direction of the officer who shot and killed her and what that officer felt in that moment, an officer identified today as Jonathan Ross, what no one can say in any kind of good faith is to make the argument that killing her was necessary, or that this 37-year-old mother of three who had just dropped her child off at school, driving her Honda Pilot with a glove compartment full of stuffed animals, was deliberately trying to run over anyone. The people desperately trying to get you to believe that are lying. They know it's wrong too. They're trying to gaslight the American public into not believing their own eyes in a desperate attempt to run cover for the terrible decisions.
And does not Esau lie about everything? That's what I mean. You know, even his own tongue is falling upon him. The newscast already saying that this shit was fake. The news is saying that shit. You see? They saying that he was lying. They were lying about how that shit, happened and all that. You know, that he didn't try to run. She didn't try to run anybody over. When they show you the video, they show you evidence that nobody was in the process of being ran over. You know, all you see is the guy sticking his arm, basically stretching out his arm onto the car. So when she took off, his arm basically just, got smacked. That's what you really see there going on.
They made to make this tragic incident possible. They're the people that ordered all this. People like this man currently serving as vice president.
This was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. Many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. And what I am certain of is that she violated the law.
That nigga can't even get his own facts straight. You can tell he wants to stutter. You know what I'm saying? Because he know what he's saying is bullshit.
That officer had every reason to think that he was under very serious threat for injury or in fact, his life. What I'm certain of is that she accelerated in a way where she ran into the guy.
Tonight, an editorial in the National Catholic Reporter newspaper wrote the quote, "The vice president's comments justifying the death of Renee Good are a moral stain on the collective witness of our Catholic faith." A moral stain. Because, of course, we know all that's a lie. We have multiple videos of the agent shooting Renee Good. You can see for yourself that the allegation she was attempting some sort of ramming attack against an officer is just obviously and plainly untrue, and J.D. Vance knows it, of course. Here's one video, moments before the shooting, where you can see the agent, Jonathan Ross, circle around the car to position himself next to Good. Just seconds after that is when the other man approached the car trying to get her to leave. And you can see Good backing up the vehicle. And crucially, right before she is shot, you can see her wheels are turned to the right. The officer who shoots her is to the left, which means, as we all know, as we can all see, as we look at it, she was neither ramming the officer with her car or trying to ram the officer with her car, and she certainly did not run the officer over. Those are all lies, obviously.
You see?
And it is this moment.
I ain't even gonna play the rest of that because it's like 9 minutes, 10 minutes long. But you see, so it's all psyops, man. It's all fucking bullshit to bring in that agenda. All right. And the agenda is really what? To go door to door. They've been wanting to go door to door. They've been wanting to go door to door since the pandemic. They were going to door to see if people were jabbed up, when this pandemic happened. But see, because it was so much, controversy happened at that moment and people weren't down with that shit, you see, they fell back off of it a little bit. So now this is round 2 of them coming, and this is the perfect way for them to get to your house now through these ice cream agents, right? Through these ice cream cones, so now they're able to get closer and closer. All right. Now, are they going to kick down doors? We don't know yet. They can't do that literally because we have rights. But again, I told you, these rights don't give it. These people don't give a shit. Your rights never mattered. All right. And best believe they'll find a way to kick your door down if they want to, especially if they come in with, UN troops, So be prepared for what's to come. You know, gotta be circumspect. You know, always watching around us, making sure nobody following us, and making sure nobody, you know, following you home. You know, we in dangerous times. So I'm gonna leave it there through the spirit. Lord willing, it was edifying. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Elohim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith. Liquid incinerators turn you into liquid. Look at that. That shit's wild, man. But Shalom. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah, brother.